Okay, all right, you guys. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday, so that means Monday motivation, and you're going to have to just bear with me. I've been super sick all weekend. I have bronchitis, so my voice may crack. I've got my tea ready to go. I've got a medicine ball here. So hopefully you don't hear me cough or hack or sneeze or blow my nose or any of those fun things that happen when you're not feeling well. So that is the beauty of this business, though. Days like today remind me that I am so grateful that I said yes to this industry and I got involved in network marketing. When I was working in the salon environment, you guys, I would have to literally stuff Dayquil, in my purse because I couldn't afford to take a day off, because it's not like when you work for yourself as an esthetician, you get paid when you don't go in, right? And so I love that I don't have to ask a boss for time off. We work from home. As long as you've got one of these things, you guys can work from literally anywhere and everywhere. And it is just a huge, huge reminder of the blessing of what we have our hands on. And so many people are dropping kids off at school and having to go in and making sacrifices in their lives because they have to choose between time and money, and they don't have both. And that is what we get to do. We get to talk about with people. So today our topic is recruit like a pro. Okay, we're going to be going over the basics of how to actually enroll brand partners, the tips and tricks behind the scenes. And so I'm going to screen share with you guys, and we are going to get right into this. All right, so let me move this on over. Okay, so the part art and part science of recruiting. Let me move this so I can, there we go. Okay. All right, guys, before we get into this, I do want to set a couple of reminders for this week. So today is the last day that you guys can enroll brand partners with those kits, the $49 kit, the $259 and the $399, and then those people are getting product credit. So today should be a day all about follow up, making sure that anybody that you've talked to through the sale, you guys are sending messages to. We also have a power hour every single day this month from Monday through Thursday with Lisa Johnson at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you guys look at your time zone for these. This week on Wednesday evening, Nikki Van Timmeren is going live with a couple of other ladies doing a product spotlight, testimonials, real people, real results. So that's something that you guys are going to be able to share with people. Then on Saturday, Alexis Savage is doing a product live as well at 4 p.m. Eastern. So again, check your time zones. And then later this month, I'm going to be traveling to Minnesota for 2 days to be doing some sip and samples. So if you know anybody in Minnesota, if you have team in Minnesota, make sure you get them connected. I am super, super excited about that and can't wait to see everybody there. All right, so let's get into the art of recruiting. It is part art and part science. So the art part, you guys, it's what you say. It's the language you use. It's what your post says. It's how you're talking to people, okay? Then the science part of this business with recruiting, it's the numbers. It's how many people you're talking to, right? And so we're gonna go through the basics of both of these and give you guys just some tips on what it looks like to really recruit brand partners on an everyday basis, okay? So the art of recruiting, the art part. Remember, what's the art part? It is the language. So the basics of messaging. So first thing, you guys, is when you're messaging people, you should be creating urgency and making them feel special. Every single message that you send. The urgency part is the right now, the, oh my gosh, ground floor, brand new. I'm creating a team. I'm brand new to this. I've got 5 legs of my business. The urgency is also promos that are happening, promos that are going on. And you may be thinking, okay, well, what if there's not a promo? And what if I'm not brand new? How can I still create urgency? It is in your excitement. It's, oh my gosh, we've got to talk today. Literally, you've got to see what I have my hands on. Like, when do you have 15 minutes? Seriously, if I could do this business with anybody, it would be you, right? That's the making them special part of this. If you literally, I hear so many of you guys talk to me and say, oh my gosh, my sister would be so good at this, or my best friend is blah, 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 blah. I wish you would do this business with me. My question always to you is, do you ever tell them that, right? Like, okay, I'm looking at who's on the Zoom right now. I've got this friend, Lavina, and she is on it. She is a super power mom. And if I could do this business with her, oh my gosh, she would just explode, right? So if I was going to message Lavina, maybe she's seen what I have my hands on. Maybe I've already talked to her, but it's all right, girl. It's been a year and you're still not doing this with me. Literally, if I could do this with anybody, it would be you. You would be so good at this. You're so great at juggling things. Like your social media is like super primed for something like this. Like, why aren't you in this with me? Right. And so going back to people that you want in your team, if you have a best friend, if you have a sister, if you have somebody that is not in your business yet, make sure today that you're making them feel special and making the ask of them and creating some urgency and saying to them, hey, you know what? It's been a year. You've been watching me. Literally, I wish that you and I were doing this together. Like, what would it take to get you to take a look at this? Or what would it take to get you to do this with me? Okay. Sometimes they just need to be asked. Okay. So number 2, basics of recruiting. The art part is using a voice audio when you can. That could be in a text message. Facebook and Instagram both have that voice audio button. Why? It doesn't look like a script, you guys. That's the basics of it. You know, if I send a message to Lavina that says, hey girl, how are you? I'm so excited about what I have my hands on right now. When do you have 15 minutes to talk? Or Lavina, seriously, girl, you have to call me back. When you have 15 minutes, we need to chat about something. Okay. It doesn't look like a script that was just texted out. She knows it's to her. You can use their name. And also, you guys, they can't preview it. Have you ever like previewed a message and you're like, I'll answer that later. But when it's a voice audio, the curiosity part of your brain kicks in and you just click play, right? Because you want to know. So a lot of times it's how you can stop getting ghosted. It's how they know that it's to them and it's not a script, and they can just literally hear the excitement in your voice. Okay. That also, if you have been sending just text messages or like in a text and they haven't responded, send a voice audio as a follow-up. It's literally one of the best ways to just get them to respond. All right. So number 3, and I'm going to take a drink just for a second, is what is their why and their what? You guys, this is a super, super important step before they enroll that you need to know. Why would they want to do Bravenly, and what would they use that extra money for? You guys, some of you might say, $500 wouldn't do it for me. I need $1,000 or $2,000 actually a month would change my life. But statistics shows that the average American literally is 2 paychecks away from financial ruin. 2 paychecks away. That just $300 to $500 extra a month coming in would be a game changer for them. We have a solution to that. Okay. So when you're talking to somebody, if I'm chatting with Alexis and maybe she was on the Meet Bravenly last night, and the first thing I want to do when I follow up with her is I want to ask her, I want to say, okay, so I absolutely want to, answer any questions you have, but let me ask you this. Why would you want to do Bravenly? Like, what would you use that extra money for? What would an extra $500 do for you? And this is the time, you guys, where you stop talking and you let them talk. They will open up. And even if they don't enroll right now, this is the thing that's going to help you seal the deal later on. I will tell you guys, I was talking to a girl, it was a couple years ago, and she went on and on, sent me like 3 paragraphs about what $500 could do for her. Well, then she started to ghost me. And I sent her a message back like a couple months later when I was following up. And I just said, hey girl, I said, you haven't responded to any of my messages. Must be you like found a part-time job. I hope all is well. And she was like, oh, why would you think I found a part-time job? And I was like, well, you were telling me how you had to make an extra $500 and you quit responding. So I just assumed that you found something else. And she's like, no, I never did. And it got us back into the conversation, but I used what she had told me. I used her why and her what, and the things that mattered to her to help actually close her. Okay. So This is literally the secret to also making sure when your brand partner enrolls that they don't just literally fall off the face of the earth. If they know why they want to join Bravenly and what they're going to do with that money before they even join you guys, they already have a goal set ready to go where you've had that conversation with them. Okay, I will tell you that income chart that we just released, that is something that can help you in this conversation. You can send that to them and say, hey, I'm going to send you this chart. Like, what number on this chart literally would help you breathe every single month? Don't ask the question, what number do you want? They're going to ask, they want the highest one, right? They're always going to say, I want that $17,000 a month. But what income on here would help you breathe every single month? Like if one of these numbers could get deposited into your bank account every single month, what would kind of like take the edge off things? What would you be willing to work for? Okay. And then whatever they say, this is where it's, all right, well, I've got a game plan to help you make up to $1,500 by the end of next month. Are you in or not? Like, are you in or are you out? Are you ready to go or not? And then send them the image that shows the breakdown of how when somebody goes director in the different scenarios that they can make up to $1,500, you guys, in their very first month. Okay. Get their why, get their what. Number 4, overcoming objections. Okay. So most people have some sort of objection before they actually enroll. All right. This is not the part where you need to be scared. If somebody tells you, I just don't know, like I've done one of those things before, or, I'm just super busy right now, maybe later. Okay. When you can get to the part of the message where you get an objection, you are in the best part of the conversation. I want to ask you, so the day that your enroller texted you and said, do you want to do this with me? Did you literally sign up on the spot? Or was there some sort of fear or some sort of thing that kind of came in your head and were like, I don't know? If so, I want you to put it in the chat right now. Okay. If you're watching this on replay later, comment in the comments, because most of us had some sort of fear or some sort of objection before we said yes to Bravenly. So wouldn't it just make sense that the people that we're talking to, they have some sort of fear, or maybe they think that it won't work, or, I don't want to risk the money. Okay. Get to the part where everyone on your list, you guys, that you're going to get an objection from. If you just know that part and it's coming at you, it's okay. You can work through that conversation. Okay. So remember, if you had them, they have them too. Okay. So number 5 is everyone pretty much has the same kind of questions right before they enroll. Like, how much money can you earn? What's the income potential? Are there monthly fees? I've never, done sales. Do I have to be a salesperson before? Like, how much does it cost? They have the same kind of questions. So here's the thing, when you can learn the answers and get really good at what those are, it's going to be faster for you to get through those and then get to the point in the conversation where you can say, are you ready to get started? So I will tell you there's a tip here. So in Bravenly Nation, there's an album and it's called Scripts. There's an image that I want you to look for that says questions that potential brand partners have. In the comments of those, you guys, is literally how I would respond to every single question that's ever been asked of me. All right. A lot of times what I find when I'm like mentoring people or doing one-on-one coaching is people don't message because they don't know how to answer questions. So they don't want to message somebody because they're scared that they're going to get a question. And they're like, oh, I don't know how to answer that. We literally at Bravenly, you guys, we give you all the tools that you need to be successful. You just have to use them. Okay. If you've never gone through those albums, that's your homework tomorrow, not today. Today, enroll brand partners. Tomorrow, spend 10 minutes and just go through those albums. There is a wealth of information and knowledge in there, but look for the one that says questions that potential brand partners have. Click on that image, find the comments, and then copy them and put them in a note on your phone. And that way, when you're messaging back and forth with somebody, if you're messaging with your friend Erin and she's like, oh, hey, how much does it cost to get started? You're like, oh, go to my note, copy, paste, send it to Erin, and bam, now you have a really good response of how much does it cost. You're not going to get tongue-tied in your words. You're going to be able to message and have confidence in knowing what you're saying is going to land in a place of, okay, that's what I need to be doing. Okay. So number 6, let your enroller help you. When in doubt, ever, text your enroller and say, hey, I'm second guessing this, or I'm not sure what to say, or can you take a look at my wording? I'm not enrolling and I want to make sure that, the messages I'm sending are good, right? Let your enroller help you, you guys. Send screenshots, put your potentials in 3-way chats. I get asked a lot, like, if you have one tip that, that helped you, like, go from 0 to 6 figures in 6 months, like, what would it be? I would literally say, you guys, I screenshotted every single message that I got to my enroller and I let her help me. Why? Because I enrolled with her for a reason. She had the results that I wanted, and I had never been successful before. And so I wanted to have her help me with my words. I wanted to actually enroll these people. I didn't want to just say the wrong thing and turn them away. I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was saying and I sounded professional and I sounded good and I had the right answer. So let your enrollers help you guys. Okay. Number 7, and I'm going to take a drink, is make the ask. So this is the part where I'm going to tell you guys, very few people ever just go to your website and enroll as a brand partner. Okay. Maybe you invited somebody to Aspen's Meet Bravenly last night. Chances are they didn't just go to your website on their own and enroll last night. Okay. You have to make the ask. You have to literally say to them, okay, Christina, let's get you in. I know you're scared. I know you're probably nervous, but let's just do this. I've got your back. I'm going to help you. I was so scared in the very beginning too. Okay. I want to help you make bank in March, or I want to help you make some extra money this month. Are you ready to get started? Or what other questions do you have? Okay. Make the ask. Like I said, very few people will ever just go to your website and enroll, or come to you and just say, okay, I'm ready to enroll. What's your website? All right. You have to lead them to that process by actually making the ask of, let's get you in. Let's get you started. Are you ready to get started? Or do you have any other questions? That's literally like my favorite line when it comes to making the ask. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being never talk to me again, 10 being you're ready to enroll, where are you at? Okay, that's another great follow-up that leads to making the ask. If they're like 8, 9, all right, girl, let's just get you in. Let's get you started. I'm going to help get you trained up. All right. So number 8, this is kind of just a planting the seed. So every time when you are enrolling a customer, whether it's a retail customer or ambassador, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to challenge you for a second. Don't be so desperate to just get that customer in without planting the seed of brand partner first. All right. What I mean by that is once you have what they want to order, once you have their information, instead of just going and putting them in as a retail customer or ambassador, spend 2.5 seconds and say, hey, Alexis, I'm getting ready to put in this breakthrough bundle for you, but I just have a question. Instead of spending money, have you ever thought about doing what I do and make extra money? If she's like, yeah, I don't know, I've thought of it. Maybe I think I just want to try the products first. No worries. Okay, I'm going to put this in for you. I'm going to send you a text as soon as I got it in. This is where you do not push and you don't try to overcome objections or anything. You do want to get the sale. Okay. But by planting this seed of brand partner, it makes them stop and think for a second when you use the words, instead of spending money today, have you ever thought about doing what I do and making some extra money? It literally does something to their brain where they're like, oh, I don't know, maybe I have. I've enrolled, I don't know, probably maybe about 5. Okay. We'll just be very, conservative with that. Maybe about 5 people on the spot by doing this right then and there, where then I talk them through and they get the kit and add the products that they wanted on. But I will tell you, the amount of people a week later, 2 weeks later, or when I'm following up with them using my customer retention follow-up system, that literally have said to me, hey, you know what? I've been thinking about what you said that day that I enrolled as a customer, and I'm sick of spending money. I want to make some extra money. I can't tell you the amount of times that they've come to me because I've planted that seed right then and there. Okay. So all of those things, you guys, that is the art of recruiting, of what you're saying, how you're talking to people. Now let's go through the science of recruiting. So this is the numbers part of, this is the numbers game. This is the numbers. You guys didn't know you were coming to like teacher class today, the art and science, right? But so the number one tip I have for you when it comes to the science of recruiting is know your ratio. The more that you talk to, the more that you enroll. Okay. So what is your goal for enrolling brand partners this month? Throw it in the chat, throw it in the comments if you guys are watching this later. Let's say your goal is 3. Okay. Most people have a ratio of, if they talk to 10 people, they can close one of them as a brand partner. Now, some of them will probably enroll as customers, but 1 in 10. So if you want 3 new brand partners to enroll with you in March, you need to be talking to 30 people over the course of March. You guys, that's 1 a day, 1 person a day who you're having a conversation with, who you're talking to about Bravenly. I will tell you, you cannot control how many people say yes to you. You can't control like how many of them actually enroll, but the only thing that you can control is how many people you actually talk to, right? The science is actually in your favor. You have full control over that part. That's the part that's always made me feel like really good about this business. I don't know if you've ever heard the analogy that, you know, as brand partners, we all have a deck of cards. Okay. Which means if you have got a deck of cards, if you have 52 cards in your deck, there's 4 aces and 4 kings and 4 queens. There's also 4 2s and 4 3s. Well, an ace is a good card, right? That's a good brand partner. That's a rock star. That's somebody that gets in and runs. Maybe a 2 is somebody who just doesn't really ever get started. Maybe a 7 is just, you know, somebody that's kind of, you know, going at a slower pace. Well, when you look to the side of you and you see this team member over here, or this sideline or this upline, and they're just enrolling people, and all of those people are just, you know, they're aces, they're rock stars. And you're like, what the heck? Here's the thing. You don't know how fast they're flipping over those cards. You have no idea how many people that they're talking to. And that's why it's really not a great thing to compare, because you don't know other people's work ethic compared to yours. They may be flipping over their 4 aces, and the next 48 people that they talk to are not their aces. Okay. It may just take you a little bit longer to flip through them. But that's why I said you guys can talk to 1 person a week, 1 person a day, or just bang it out and send 30 messages in a day, right? Like, it is the same amount of work. It's just different time frames that lead to those people enrolling. And I will tell you guys something that somebody told me one time. You know, I was complaining. I was kind of complaining to an upline. I'm like, oh, I'm just so ready for a runner. I just really want somebody to like come into my business and explode and like get this like I do. And she looked at me and she's like, well, I want to ask you, like, are you running like this person? Are you running in the way that you would want this person to run? And I was like, I don't know. What does that look like? And she's like, well, are you talking to everybody? Because the runner that you want to enroll, wouldn't you want them to talk to everyone? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, okay, so your runner is probably the person at the bank that you didn't talk to, that you've built a relationship with. Your runner is that girl at the grocery store that you guys were talking because her kid was so cute and you guys, you know, followed each other on Facebook, but you never sent her a message. Your runner is your best friend that you're too scared to message. Your runner is your sister that you just think, you know, would never do anything like this. Your runner are the people all around you all the time that you're not talking to. So be the runner until you find the runner. If you are in massive amount of activity and action and you're talking to a ton of people, you're going to find those runners. Those runners are going to come into your business. So one kind of image I want to show you guys is this analogy of 3 feet from gold. And I'm going to let you kind of look at both of these pictures for just a second. I'm going to take a sip. So the picture on the left is one that I have saved to my favorites on my phone. And it literally, you guys, when I'm feeling discouraged, when I've felt like, oh, I just don't know if this is working, I look at this picture and I remember why I started. I remember that I need to push forward, that I am literally 3 feet from gold, that my breakthrough is going to come when I'm frustrated, when I'm doing it scared, and I'm doing it struggling. So this picture to me reminds me of keep going, push forward. You're almost there. Literally, you guys, the guy at the very bottom right here, he is almost there, literally just like one more and the diamonds would have all flowed his way, but he is giving up. Meanwhile, this guy is like, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. Okay. So this next picture, check out this guy. He digs just a little ways. This guy is obviously digging. The guy on the right has dug farther, but he's already got a diamond. So he leaves. He's got his diamond. This guy's like, maybe I should go dig over there because over there has the diamonds, right? So he abandons his and he starts digging and he's got nothing. But look at what he would have struck, like 10 times the bigger diamond if he would have just stayed where he was. So what this reminds me of is you guys keep your blinders on, stay in your lane and finish what you start. I will tell you, there was a time in my business where what was working for me was doing belly to belly events. I was partying, I was launching people, I was doing every single day. I had something on my calendar where I was presenting the business, and I went to conference and I learned about social media. Instagram had kind of just came out from a building the business standpoint, and I literally left there and I was this close to hitting my next promotion. Okay. I had enrolled, and just for the sake of this story, the month that I enrolled was in February, and I went director rank. In March, I went executive director rank. And in April, I went vice president rank. Okay. So I was literally then almost to senior vice president when I walked into this conference. And I immediately left and was like, oh my gosh, we need to learn social media. We need to learn all of these different things. This is what we're not doing. And instead, I pulled my focus and my entire team's focus and stopped doing what we were doing that got us to massive amount of success and momentum. And we started doing something else because I thought that there was something that I wasn't doing, when in actuality, I was literally leading the company in records that nobody had ever done before. And if we would have just stuck with what we were doing and what was working, I would have got there faster, and my team would have experienced more success if I would have just kept my blinders on and said, that's awesome. That's a great tip. I'm going to kind of put that in my pocket and wait till later. Or another thing that someone's told me is when you hear of a tip or something that you're not doing that somebody else is, and you're having success and the things that you're doing are working, spend an hour a week maybe implementing what they're doing and starting to do it. But 90% of what you're doing needs to be what you're currently doing. 10% maybe doing this other thing or implementing this other thing. Okay. So, somebody also told me one time that growth and comfort do not coexist. You're never going to grow and stay in your comfort zone. It just does not happen. Growth only happens when you're uncomfortable, when you're this guy or right here, blood, sweat, and tears, busting it, working so hard. That is when growth happens. Okay, so that's kind of a side tangent, but I wanted to just share that with you guys. So number 2 in the science of recruiting is growing your network daily. Okay, you want to meet and friend more people so you have more people to talk to and you'll have more people viewing your socials. Okay, so that is adding friends on Facebook every single day, following on Instagram every single day, asking people for referrals, hosting events in person or online. You guys, if you can host an event, you're getting in front of more people, you're opening up a different network and you're meeting more people. And then you book another event from some one of those, and you're getting in front of more people and getting in front of more people. Geotagging. This is something where, let's say I'm looking at 2 Alaskans right here and they're like, man, I'd love to have a team in Michigan, right? Ashley lives there. She could go meet with them for me. Start finding people in Michigan, use geotags, get on Instagram and hashtag Grand Rapids and start following a bunch of people in Grand Rapids. I'll go meet with them for you. I'll go drop off a sample of Rush. They can come over to one of my sip and samples or one of Nikki's sip and samples or one of Mickey's sip and samples or Sarah's. You guys, that is geotagging. And the really cool thing that you can do is when you're starting to expand in a different area and say, hey, I'm expanding a team, I'm expanding a brand, I'm expanding a market in your area. Do you know anybody that would be interested? Do you know anybody interested in making extra money? Do you know anybody interested in health and wellness? Okay. So those are different things that help grow your network daily. So you have more eyes. Remember, it's a numbers game. So you want to increase the amount of people that are viewing your things, that are looking at your things. Okay, number 3, and this last area of the science of recruiting is consistency. Consistency in these 3 areas, okay? Consistency in interacting on social, consistency in posting and adding to your stories, and consistency with messaging and following up. So let me explain. The consistent part of interacting is what allows more eyes on your stuff. Only 17 or 12 to 17% of people that follow you on social media actually see your posts or your stories. The only way to change that, you guys, is by commenting and liking on other people's things. I will tell you, there's a brand partner in Michigan that enrolled today because she was on one of my teams in the past, and she saw my happy birthday to my dad post on March 3rd. So because that post got so much interaction, it was sent out to more people on my social media. And this girl recognized me, remembered that we were in business together, went and saw the Meet Bravenly that I posted about last night, remembered Aspen, okay, and enrolled as a brand partner because she was also on the team of somebody that lives in Grand Rapids. How cool is that? That is literally the perfect example of more eyes on your stuff. I will tell you another example. As soon as I get off of this live, I'm talking to a friend that I went to high school with. I used to coach her actually in cheerleading. She's a couple years younger than me, but she hosted a party for me couple network marketing companies ago, and I've been posting about this pink drink. And so she messaged me and said, all right, I need to know what's up with that drink, but I also want to know about what you're doing to make some extra money. Okay. She doesn't necessarily know that I'm not building anymore. She knows that I used to. And so right now she's watching the Meet Bravenly. I just added her to Insiders, and she wants more info on being a brand partner. Okay. That is the power of being consistent and liking and commenting and interacting. I will tell you guys one huge major tip. If you want to up your game and have a system around what this looks like, it's called Letter of the Day. And actually, if you go into Bravenly Nation and search on that little magnifying glass and just type in Letter of the Day, there's a post that will pop up that will teach you guys how to do this. But somebody that was a sideline of mine in a business in the past was only doing about $2,000 to $3,000 in sales a month. And over 2-month period of implementing this was back to doing over 100,000 in sales every single month. And the whole point of what she did is she spent an hour a day doing this thing called Letter of the Day. She downloaded her Facebook friends list. She then put them in an Excel spreadsheet. And let's say today is letter A. She would start at letter A. She would go to their page, comment and like, okay, and get into their inbox. Not about business, not about Bravenly, just being a friend. Next person, comment like, get in their inbox, comment like, get into their inbox. And what this did is it helped her algorithm. So more eyes were on her stuff, but it got her into more natural, organic conversations with people that then led to business. Okay, so that is something that you can do every single day that is consistent, that will lead to recruiting. All right, so consistency with posting and adding to your stories. Talking about the same product over and over and over again, or talking about this business, sharing your story, sharing what this business is doing for you is creating FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. People are like, oh, I just need to message her, right? Or, oh my gosh, what's that pink drink? It's telling a story that people follow along with. It also warms up your messages. So when you do go to message them, that's the next part. When you message consistently, it gets you in a habit of every day, at least sending one message to somebody new that you haven't talked to, and then use a follow-up system that keeps you working your business like a business. Set a time or or amount. So say, okay, every day I'm going to message for 10 minutes and I'm going to follow up for 25 minutes. Okay. Or say every day I'm going to message one new person and I'm going to follow up with 10 people, right? Whatever your number is, stick to it and do it every single day. It'll create a habit for you that you do over and over and over again. I use the 2-2-2 rule when it comes to follow up. I used to have a calendar. Let me see if I can grab one real quick. Here's one that I used to use in my business, you guys. I'll show you this at the end when I'm done screen sharing. Okay. So that way you guys can see it. But every single day before I went to bed at night, anybody that I messaged that then responded back, I would put in my calendar and I would follow up with them 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months later. Okay. So nobody fell through the cracks. That is a huge, huge tip I have for you. Okay. Some extra tips, and then we're going to end, that I used to do is send messages to your phone. So let me take a sip real quick. I feel my throat starting to hurt. When you're talking to somebody on Facebook or Instagram, get their phone number and send the message to your phone. Why? So it doesn't blow up your notifications. Okay. A lot of times when something is on Instagram or Facebook, people get distracted, they get busy, they set their phone down or whatever, but there is something that happens when you get a text message that pops up that people just respond faster to. But the other reason why is I would save this person. So let's say Alexis and I are having a conversation about a brand partner and we were talking on Instagram. I would send the message. Sorry, I can tell I've been talking. I would send the message to my phone and I would save her as Alexis Savage dash potential BP and maybe like a heart emoji. Okay. And maybe I was talking to Lavina about the pink drink. So I'm going to save her in my phone as Lavina dash P customer or PCUST and maybe the high five emoji. Okay. Now, why are those emojis really awesome? Well, anytime we have a brand partner deal or sale going on, I can go into the contacts of my phone and do the heart emoji, and it's going to pull up every single potential I have in my phone. Anytime there's a promo or a deal or something going on for customers, I can type in the high five emoji, and it's now going to pull up every single person that I have in my phone that I can now go send a message to. The other thing I love about sending it to your phone, you guys, is you can add notes. So if you're talking to potential brand partners, you can add their why and their what right here in your phone. So when you go to follow up with them, you can talk to them about that. Okay. Hosting events. Working smarter, not harder. You guys, if you are hosting an event online or in person, it's taking you 30 minutes to maybe an hour of your time where you're getting in front of more people than just one-on-one. Okay. More people, they have the ability to add their friends. Then when you book an event from an event, now you're opening up your market. So it is literally a way for you to just grow so much faster. Okay. If you want to enroll more brand partners, you're going to start hosting events, whether they're in person, online, or both. Last thing I have for you guys is recruit through your team. Okay. When you enroll someone, help them enroll somebody else ASAP. What's in it for you? Okay. When they enroll somebody else, when you enroll a brand partner, they're your E1. You get a first order bonus on them. Now, let's say I enroll Alexis. Okay. She is my E1. I get a first order bonus on her. Then for the life of her business, every single time Alexis enrolls somebody, I get a first order bonus on them. I get an E2 bonus on them every single time. Why wouldn't I want to help Alexis enroll as fast as possible? I'm going to get a first order bonus on her, right? On all of those people. Then you also get a mentor bonus. So when I help Alexis go enroll 4 customers, hit 400 in sales, and enroll 2 people, okay, I get a first order bonus on those 2 people. Now I get a $50 mentor bonus. You get more volume. When your brand partner enrolls more brand partners, now you have more people on your team enrolling customers, enrolling brand partners. The fastest way to volume, you guys, is through new brand partners. Because if you're just trying to go enroll a bunch of customers, well, go get a buddy that now both of you are sending messages to go enroll customers. And now you get another buddy. Now you've got 3 people going and talking to customers and talking to brand partners. The volume starts to duplicate and grow really, really fast. And here's the last thing. I'll tell you guys, very few times in my business have I personally enrolled a rock star. It's been somebody that they enrolled down, down, down into the depths. So the fastest way, if you're like, I need a leader, I need a rock star, go enroll everybody, help them enroll everybody, and you will find the leaders. The leaders will rise to the top, right? You guys ever heard the saying, all fires start from below? Okay. So your rock stars literally could be down in the depths of your organization. Okay. Massive goals. I know so many of you have massive, massive goals for this month. They don't just happen. Things don't just fall into place and happen for anybody. You have to make them happen. All right, you guys. So I'm going to stop screen sharing really, really quick. And I am going to show you my planner. Okay, this is something that I used to use when I was building. And so every day, if I was sending messages, let's see, I would write down, let me try to find a week. Okay, I would write down names, the people that I talked to on those dates, okay? And so now what I did is it's June 3rd, and I talked to 3 new people that day, okay? So 2 days later, on June 5th, I would reach back out to those 3 people and say, hey, we were talking about the pink drink, or we were talking about getting you started as a brand partner. I just wanted to follow up and see if you had any questions. Okay, you're not salesy, you're not spammy, you're doing your job. Then if they don't respond, or I'm sorry, if they don't enroll, then you follow up with them 2 weeks later. Okay, so when you're messaging people on June 17th, Monday, June 17th, you send out your messages, and then it's time for follow-up. So now you go your 2-2-2 rule, you follow up with people 2 days before and 2 weeks before. It's those 3 people. Same thing for 2 months, you guys. So this is how you can work smarter, not harder. It's how you guys can get more done faster. So I'm going to stop recording. If there's anybody that's on the Zoom that has questions, I'll stay on and answer. If anybody has questions that are watching on Facebook Live, comment them and tag me, okay? Let me stop live stream and stop the recording.